Hi, everybody. Jared here with DayTraders FX. I hope you're having a great week. Hope you're having a great day and a great month. We have had quite an interesting experience in the market lately. We've had the election. Of course, we've had vaccine news. All these things have kind of happened in a short period of time, and the market is reacting because of that. So I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things, opportunities that I see. Number one, in both the currency market as well as in the stock market, and just some key things that I see playing out right now. I've been talking about this with my trade group for months, saying, retail stocks are going to need to see some sort of vaccine before they do anything, exciting, right? And of course, the Monday, and of course, I told my group as well that the vaccine, there's no way it's coming out until after the election. The Monday after the election, we get this announcement that the vaccine is ready to go and everything is going crazy because of it. So retail stocks have made a big jump and we've seen some movements there. The currencies are doing something very interesting as well. And I want to talk about all of this and kind of where we see it going. So let's have a little peek at the chart, see what's happening in this market, see where we can find some good money-making opportunities, because I think we do have some very good ones. Let's have a look at my screen here for a moment and just kind of see where this is all going. So first of all, I would say the two things that I want to talk about here is, number one, I want to talk about the dollar index, and number two, I want to talk about the stock market in general, right? So here's something interesting that's been happening with the dollar index, right? You would think with an election win, the stock market doing good, everything kind of just going along nicely, the dollar should be going down, right? We have this big prevailing pattern that's telling us that the dollar index has double topped at a pretty significant level. These are highs taking us all the way back to 2002, right? Where this hit in 2016 and it hit again over here. So that's kind of what we're looking for there. And that's what I want to find. And I think we have some interesting stuff to be thinking about with all of this. So big long-term pattern on the dollar index. And then what we see happening here is a big dip, right? And the dollar, for whatever reason, seems to not be so convinced that this stock market rally is so significant, so important. And so the dollar seems to be holding pretty strong. And in fact, it's been going up a little bit the last few days. This week, the dollar index started the week off at around 92.25, and here we are up just above 9,300. So it's pushing higher slowly. I wouldn't be surprised to see the dollar index run up and hit some of these targets. We have some of these big upper targets all the way up in the mid to upper 90s, 98 and thereabouts. So there's things happening, and we'll see how this plays out. But there's some good upper targets for the dollar to run to. And when we see the dollar index kind of holding this support, kind of holding this low, if we go back to this area right here and we say, okay, here's a lot of lows over here that have held pretty well. This is big support, and the dollar index seems pretty intent on trying to kind of stay in that area. Something might be cooking. And then when we overlay it with the SPY, it looks even more suspicious. Here's a weekly chart on SPY, or you can look at SPX and get the same exact picture. But this is the S&P. This is US, stock market index here. And what we see on the S&P is that there is this big broadening channel. We had vaccine news, the S&P spiked up and just hit the top of this broadening channel and has been selling off ever since. Now, do I think that we're going to get a big move like this? Probably not. I don't think we're going for a big, massive broadening channel like that, although it's absolutely possible. But what I would be a little bit more interested in is, are we going to get somewhat of a movement like this, right? Are we going to get this S&P down into kind of this key, middle zone around 300, kind of the middle upper part of this of this channel here, of this broadening pattern that we have? Could we see stocks take a big dip down into that? I'm not positioning myself for that yet, but I'm aware of it, and I think that it's not impossible. So I'm not calling for a stock market crash. I don't do that. But I am saying, technically speaking, we do have we do have kind of an interesting pattern on US stocks here on the S&P, where this could take a big dip and this could come off that pattern high and come down for us. We'll see. We'll see. We have, we have some key support levels kind of running through these areas. Could we see S&P, SPY get back down into 320-ish? Could we see SPX get into the 3320 area? I would say it's very possible. So I'm just kind of watching for that, and I'm kind of seeing where that goes. So we have a dollar that seems kind of strong, and we have an S&P that seems kind of bumping its head into some pretty big resistance. Where are things going to go? We're going to have to watch and see, but I think we have some pretty good opportunities that we're going to be able to trade from here. So let's talk about a couple of currency trades that I think are interesting, a couple of stock trades that I think are interesting. And let's go from there. Let's run over to a few currencies here. Some of the big questions have been, where are dollar pairs going? For example, one thing we got to keep an eye on. If we look at some dollar pairs like EURAUD, right? Pretty stuck. It's just an inverse picture of the dollar index. Big double top over here. Higher low consolidation. On the long-term chart, that looks like a pretty solid bull flag. So will we see that play out? I'd say we probably can and probably will. So I'm going to be watching this little area right here to see if the euro dollar is going to play out there. We have some interesting to semi-significant targets down here that, might need to get visited before the euro makes a big move. I mean, do we have something like this coming, a 110 move before a continuation higher? It's very possible, right? If the stock market starts coming off that big upper level, I could see the euro dollar running down into 110 before a long-term rally higher. I could see the dollar index shooting up before a long-term sell-off. That's kind of the picture that I see happening here. Now, if that doesn't happen, right? If we don't break out, and if the stock market just stays steady and just continues to kind of grind higher, then probably what we're going to see is a continuation up on something like euro dollar, a break of this bull flag and just a continuation higher. That's very likely what we could see happen here. Euro dollar is kind of a choppy, messy one, and so it's it's still open to some interpretation for sure. So euro dollar is one that I'm going to be watching. I've talked about New Zealand dollar and Aussie dollar as ones I like as well. I still think that the New Zealand dollar, it's made a nice little move higher, but I still think New Zealand dollar can give us a right shoulder. So again, if we get a stock market sell-off to some degree, something more than just a bad day, I'm still looking for New Zealand dollar to give us a right shoulder. Let's get New Zealand dollar into the low 60s and then have that big rally. That would be such a good, clean pattern that I would love to see, but we might not get it. We might not get it. New Zealand dollar is breaking some of these highs, but it is also coming back up to a lot of resistance. There's a ton of resistance up here. So this could really just kind of expand this neckline situation and kind of do something along these lines, right? Where maybe we have to kind of say, okay, here's our neckline right there, wherever that ends up being, maybe it's right there. And then maybe New Zealand dollar comes down pretty hard, and we see, and we see that kind of thing happen, right? We hit all this resistance over here, all of this stuff that could very well slow down New Zealand dollar. This is a big, keep in mind, it's a big bullish pattern when it breaks. When this breaks above about the 70 level, New Zealand dollar is up and away. 69.50. 70, somewhere in that general area, New Zealand dollar is going to take off and go. I think that we have a really good chance of bouncing off that resistance, taking a big dip down here and giving us a nice opportunity to buy that dip, even sell that dip, and then buy it down here for a nice big push higher. New Zealand dollar's got a really clear thing we can work with here, and I think that there are some good opportunities that we want to be watching for and waiting for. So New Zealand dollar looks really good. Euro dollar looks really good. The only other dollar pair that I'm kind of, that's on my radar right now is the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar certainly looks a little more bearish to me than any of the rest of those. Like we got some kind of head and shoulders pattern trying to, work its way out here. And so I see this happening and I think to myself, well, this could be a huge head and shoulders pattern and a big rounded top. And that could be the big sell-off move that we've been kind of watching for on Aussie pairs. So I still think that's a great opportunity. That looks like a pretty good prevailing pattern here. Nice rounded top, nice little area for this to start running down, start kind of reacting to this big rounded top and get some trend line breaks and start seeing this thing sell off. So these are dollar related setups. These are dollar related pairs, and there's going to be, there's going to need to be some big activity to kind of ignite that dollar movement. And I think a stock market correction, a little bit of a stock market sell-off for a couple of days, a couple of weeks could absolutely get us there. So that's kind of what I see happening with these dollar pairs. So those are probably the only ones I'm going to watch. Aussie dollar, Euro dollar, New Zealand dollar. Very, very good opportunities on all of those. They look really, really good to me, and I'm excited to trade them. I'm still staying with my overall pattern here. This is pound Aussie, and at this point, I'm just waiting for confirmation. That's all I want to know. Can we get some confirmation here for this huge head and shoulders pattern? Yes, no, maybe. We'll find out. Pound Aussie looks great. A safe bet is buying a break of 185. Anything above 185 should be able to run. If we can get above 185 on this pound Aussie, we should be able to run. If not, we're going to be floundering around down in this area here for a while we look and wait for that movement to play out. So pound Aussie, we need to get above 185. I'm going to be personally looking for opportunities to get in a lot sooner than 185. That would be ideal. And you can see, we have some channels and some things to be looking for and working for here. So pound Aussie looks really, really excellent. Euro Aussie, same kind of situation, right? We've got Euro Aussie that's kind of still floundering around in this area. All it did in this recent move was expand the consolidation channel. So we kind of have this 160 to 168 channel that's been in play for months now, 6, 7, 8 months, and it's just right back down to the bottom. I want to buy at 160. I want to buy just below 160 and just hang on to this thing and get a move up into 175. I want to grab 1,000, 1,500 pips on this trade, and I think we can do it. Anything above 168 should be an easy run higher. And anything against 160 looks pretty interesting and should be pretty good. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on the currency front. Obviously, there's a lot more. I talk about this in my trade group. I talk about this everywhere. This is just some of the biggest, best setups that I see right now that I want to share with you guys. But there is a lot more that can come from this. And of course, we have, 20 solid setups that we're looking at in the currency market in the trade group. Okay, so just a little quick recap there. We're watching Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Euro dollar. Those are looking real good. We're just waiting for confirmations of these long-term patterns. And then we're watching pound Aussie, Euro Aussie. Like I said, I'm watching a lot of other pairs. I'm watching a lot of yen pairs. I'm watching a lot of other Aussie pairs. But I think those are some of the biggest ones that we can watch and follow and trade right now. Let's have a little peek over at the stock market. Let's see what's going on there. We have some great trades running right now in the trade group. KHC is one of them, the catch-up folk. We actually have a covered call right now on KHC that looks like it'll get called away this Friday with some pretty good profit. We'll take it. We'll take it. We like some good profit. KHC, though, I really like this one because it's a stock. Nobody is sitting back thinking, wow, where can I find some catch-up stock? Where can I find someone that makes a real good mustard and then buy their stock? Nobody's thinking about that. They're thinking about all these other exciting, what's Tesla doing and what's Amazon and what's Apple and what's Netflix doing. Don't care at all. In fact, I'm actually really bearish tech stocks right now, but I'm really bullish boring staple stocks like Kraft Heinz. So we've already got a nice trade on this. This is a beautiful rounded bottom, a beautiful head and shoulders pattern that looks ready to just make a massive run higher. This one, we have waited this one out a long time. We've only just recently got into this trade, but Kraft Heinz has done nothing but terrible things since basically 2017. It's been on the downward run. and we're picking it up in the $30 mark. Actually, our break even right now is about $29.50 on the stock. So we're doing real good on this one. It should be able to continue just pushing higher. We'll get the stock called away. Should be a great one. But this is a good trade with plenty of potential. So keep this on your radar. KHC. I love it. Big bullish trade. A couple other ones that I'm liking. I'm pretty ready for these airlines to do something good for us. Southwest has had a little bit of a tricky run, right? We had this big rounded bottom, a big neckline break, and it's coming back to fill this gap. I'll tell you, all I have to say about that is yeehaw. I'm so excited. Southwest is coming back down nice and intensely, and should be ready to we should be ready to buy some dips. I want to get Southwest back below $40, and then we'll be buying some dips on this one. Southwest looks awesome. I think this is going to be a super great trade. I like the airlines. I think they're great. So nice bullish option trade should play out nicely. Our strategy does really well. If we were in something like this right now and it was going against us, we'd be like, yay, because we're going to make a lot more money on it. So this is great. I'm not in this one yet, but I do love this setup and I do love this trade, and I think we have plenty of potential for a big bullish continuation on Southwest. And of course, you know, not to leave Delta, our good friends over at Delta out. Same thing, nice break out of the pattern. You know, struggled at that high, coming back down to fill the gap. I love everything about this. So this one's looking really good. And you know, I'm staying with the good old banking stocks. Loving these guys a pretty healthy amount. Bank of America, we've got a Bank of America trade that's going to get called away this week with some good profit. But I think this is a good one as well. This may need to fill that gap also, but banking and airline stocks have been on my radar for a long time, and I think we have that kind of activity coming up, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think there's going to be some really, really good trades coming on these guys. And so that's what I'm watching. I'm watching all these. I'm watching all these trades here. Kohl's, KSS, great little one. Breaks out of the channel, fails at the 200 moving average, coming back down. What do I see happening here? How do I think that this is going to play out? Well, hopefully we get something like this. Back down into that channel, up and away. So I really like the retail stocks right now. I'm really liking those that have recovered the least amount, right? These guys have really recovered the least amount. And so there's going to be some good opportunities to trade these and make some runs. In my premium trade group, remember guys, we're trading currencies, both automated and manual trading. We're trading stock and options. You don't have to know anything about stocks. You don't have to know anything about options. You can have an account and follow my recommendations, and I will walk you through every single trade that we do. We're having some great success with our stock and options trades. And as always, we're having some great success with our currency trades as well. Learn more, have a little look, click on the link below this video. Tell me what you think. Come by the website, say hi, and stay in touch. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, please don't hesitate. Reply to the email, leave a message under the video, a comment, anything. I'm happy to discuss these details with you. I hope everyone's happy and healthy and doing well. Hang in there, guys. Happy middle of November. Good luck on everything, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a good one. See you all. Bye-bye.